You did it. I saw it. No, I didn't see it, but I know what you did. You Googled Memphis. And when you did, all the narratives came up from the national news to the social media feeds. They talk about Memphis and they talk about the crime, they talk about the struggles, and they talk about the rough around the edges reputation. To the world, Memphis is one of the most dangerous cities. You see, they see the grit, but they don't see the grind. They see the tears, but they don't see the soul. And the truth of the matter, the way you shop, the way you travel, the way we save lives, and even the music of this world would not even exist without Memphis, Tennessee. Today, we're going to put those headlines aside and we're going to look at 4 game changers that didn't just come out of Memphis, they changed the world. All right, game changer number 1 is FedEx, and it's the logistics revolution. All right, it starts with the 60s, late 60s. A Yale student, Fred Smith, wrote a paper and turned it in, and it was all on shipping, logistics shipping. He turned it in, and his idea was to have one central hub and packages be delivered overnight. His professor gave him a C and said there was no way that would ever work. All right, in 1973, he brought that idea, that C paper, to Memphis. And I know you're wondering why Memphis. Well, Memphis is a logistics dream. We have the river, we have a massive airport, we have rail, we have everything. So it was a logistics dream. So in 1973, Fred Smith opened the doors of FedEx with 114 planes, and it almost failed. Surprise. But you know why it didn't? Because Memphis is a city that doesn't give up. That company now is worth $90 billion, and it has changed the way that we think. So anytime you get a package from FedEx or you see Amazon at your front door, remember it was an idea that was spawned from Fred Smith. Hey, I know you're wondering right now why I'm not at FedEx when I've been everywhere else. I don't think that the airport would take too kindly to us watching them ship in and ship out, right? So we came back to the office and we're going to bring you the best pictures of possible. All right, I know what you're thinking right now, and I'm not going to avoid it. You know, Memphis does have its problems, but every city has its problems. We have scars, we have problems, but yet together we put together and we put a Memphis spirit and we change the world. All right, so game changer number 2, and that is St. Jude. It is a Memphis miracle. All right, in 1962, there was a struggling actor named Danny Thomas, and he made a vow. He said, "Help me find my way in life, and I'll make you a shrine." And you know, today, that shrine, it's not a church, it's a medical miracle, and it's St. Jude Children's Hospital. To receive that diagnosis was a hopeless cause, but that's where hopeless causes come to Memphis to fight for hope. What it's really important for you to understand why St. Jude is such a game changer, because there's not one family that comes here that has to pay for travel, for food, or lodging. It's all provided by St. Jude. And what's even more amazing is that St. Jude, in all of their discoveries, shares their information with doctors around the world for free. We share that information to change the world. Okay, remember in the beginning, I gave you that stat, that 4% survival rate was almost a death sentence. Did you know today, because of the things that happen here at St. Jude, there is a 94% survival rate? I hope they revitalize this, because it's really phenomenal that that this replica of the river is right here on the island. And it's not just like right at the Memphis area, but it's from the beginning to the end, along with all the cities and ports. Pretty phenomenal. In case you didn't know it, this city is the global headquarters for hope. Stop. Right now, I need you to hit the subscribe button. And you know why? Because I know that about 89% of you watching have not yet subscribed to our channel. And what that tells me is that you're watching the content and yet you haven't subscribed. You don't want to miss out. So hit the button for notifications. All right, game changer number 3, Piggly Wiggly. And it is the retail revolution. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, really, Jennifer, how is a grocery store a game changer? And let me tell you how it all started. Before 1916, shopping was a nightmare. You came to the counter, you asked, you gave your list. It was long. The clerks had to go get your stuff and bring it to you. You couldn't choose your produce. You had to wait and them to bring you everything, and it was very expensive. All right, now enter 1916, and Clarence Saunders comes on the scene, and he starts the first retail Piggly Wiggly on Jefferson, right in Memphis. And when his idea opened up, it's just like every entrepreneur, people thought he was crazy. I mean, it was innovative. They're like, they're going to steal you blind. Like, you're going to leave things on the shelf and let people pick it out and come to this counter and pay you. That's just a crazy idea. And I wouldn't say he was the first person to introduce it, but he didn't invent it, but he was one of the first people who put price tags on everything in the store, and then you brought it up and checked out. So now let me tell you this: every time you go to Whole Foods or you go to your grocery store or you have any kind of retail shop that you go in, I want you to think Memphis, because it was the game changer. I still think it's very funny that I've lived in Memphis all my life and I had no idea that the way I shop um, is started all right here in Memphis. No wonder I'm a Memphian. 1916 model. All right, game changer number 4 is Sun Studio. All right, we've already talked about how Memphis, gave the world its medicine, gave the world its packages, being delivered and all. But here's what is really phenomenal: Memphis gave the world its voice, and it started right here at 706 Union. What's really kind of crazy to me is, like, this is a radiator shop, and yet in this little building, the world changed. So in the 50s, Sam Phillips started the Sun Studio. And a lot of people think of it as a recording studio, but it really isn't. It was a soul industrial revolution, game changing industry that started right here. And what I mean by that is, see, Sam Phillips didn't care about anything but exactly how your soul expressed itself. Because, in the 50s, life was segregated. And here, color didn't matter. It was the music that you produced mattered. Right here are the great game changers of soul music. B.B. King, who was cited as recording the first rock and roll song, started right here. And what's even more amazing is, if you know Memphis, you know Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. He came in as a truck driver and tried his very hardest to start a sound, and Sun Studio allowed him to start doing his recordings. And here is where his life changed. In case you're wondering about that BB King comment, I think the song was Rocket 88, and I think it is sorted or cited, given credit for as the first rock and roll song. I think why Memphis gave the world its voice is because before rock and roll, music was polite, and after the sounds that came out of Sun Studio, it was eccentric, it was loud, it was vocal, and since then, every day or all the time, I say every day, not every day, but a lot of times, there are still major recording artists who come into this old radiator shop called Sun Studio and make music that changes the world. Still people come from all over the world. I know when we were out here recording, I heard a British accent. I don't know if you did, but I heard a British accent. And when we did the tour, I cannot even begin to tell you the amount of people that still come through here to record. It's kind of crazy. Hey, I know we have scars, we have struggles, but we have Memphis spirit. And when it came to saying you can't deliver packages overnight, Memphis beat it. When you can't beat cancer, guess what? Memphis beat it. When they said you can't trust people to buy your groceries and check out, guess what? We proved them wrong. And when the world was quiet and needed a voice, guess what? We gave them music and changed the world. So I know that you're thinking that Memphis gets a bad rap. I know Memphis gets a bad rap, but here's what I know about Memphis. We have a community and a lifestyle that's worth living. If you're thinking about moving here to the Memphis area, curious about it, or even if you live here and you still don't know where you want to relocate or change to, selling real estate is our specialty. And we want you to enjoy this community as much as we do, so give us a call. Hey, if you made it this long, I want to thank you. I'm Jennifer with the Home Gurus, Keller Williams. My husband and I have a top producing team here, and we love it in this area. If you're still thinking about relocating to Memphis, check out our library. We have several other ones, and maybe you want to check out about living down in Harbortown. That might be a good one for you. But if you need us, you know how to reach us. Our number's posted.